MD04 accessing the material master. So from MD04, there are many functions that you can use, and the first one is to access the material master. You have shortcuts for that. So one of the first options you can use is to just double click on the material master field, or let's say the material number field. Just by double clicking on the material number, you will have access to the equivalent of MM03. This is display. But from the menu, you can also do the same. Environment, change material, or display material. So here you can go in MM02 by choosing change material. There is also another option is the product structure. If you need to look at the bill of material, or at least all the information that is associated with this material, you can access also the product structure as a shortcut from also the environment menu tab. After that, other options related to material information is to display the material overview. It's a series of screens that is giving really the details, and it's a little bit different from the material master, but it's grouping all the important information in terms of planning. And that's accessed through the menu, Go To tab, Material Overview. And finally, you have also from this menu tab, Go To, you can go to the Material Memo, and that's to write a little note for yourself to remember what could be done or needs to be done for this material. There is also the button directly in the screen, and you can also use Shift F4. And if you have accessed, for example, this MD04, if you have accessed it from the collective access with MD07, if you go to the menu list, you will go back, you can go back, sorry, to the material list by saying, choosing list material list. Okay, let's go to the SAP screen. So in this example, I use my finished product FP101 in individual access, so I'm in the MD04. I'm not in collective access, I'm not in MD07. So individual access, and I see that if I double click on this material, I have access directly to the MRP view, the first one, and I'm in display mode, like in MM03. If I go back, I can also do this, but from the environment menu tab. Display will take me to MM03, but if I go to change material, I am in MM02 now. The fields are open and the values can be modified and saved, obviously. And then when you save, you go back with the green arrow and you're back to MD04. As I said, there is also the Go To menu tab that takes you to the material overview. There are here a series of screens which really are the summary of what is important for planning. So you see a different way of presenting what is in the material master or in the header details of MD04. If you use the green arrow, you go to next screen. You have also here important information that are coming from the MRP view, but you can also see, for example, something from the valuation information from accounting view. So you have the valuation class and the price. And you have also something that is interesting here is a summary of all the MRP elements that could be appearing in MD04. So the receipt, the issues, and the stocks. And also you have some statistics already calculated there for stock days of supply, for example. And that was the last of those overview, material data overview. The material memo is something that you can choose from the Go To menu tab with material memo, or Shift and F4. But you also have access to it here with this button, material memo here, and you can write down a note to remember things that are important for this material in terms of planning. You save, and once it's saved, you will see that there is the list, or let's say the information, when was it created and by who. So you know that there is a note there and that someone wrote something. So that was it for the information that you can access from MD04. As I said, there is also this material list that you can go back to if you have access from MD07. That would be the list menu tab, and you choose material list, and you go back to the equivalent of the second screen of MD07, where you have some information on the material. But the idea is that normally here you get access when there are a list of materials, not only just one. We will go also in the details of MD07 options, but know that you have access to a graphic here that is giving you, for example, information about regional coverage or stock values. But this information is also potentially visible from the graphic here, list graphic. And yeah, it's a different graphic, but you have also graphical information that can be displayed directly in MD04. Okay, as a last comment, which is not linked to the material only, but you see that the field material is with the value is underlined. And that's why you can double click and have access as a shortcut to MD03. The same applies to other fields that have this underline, the value underline. So if you double click on MRP area, although in that case there is nothing, it takes you directly to information about MRP area, and usually in that case it takes you to the customizing if you have access to it. So same applies, for example, to MRP types. These are values that are underlined and they are customized values. So if you double click on it, you have access to the details of what's behind the customizing. This is obviously technical information, but it's helpful to remind you whether there are things that you need to access quickly to verify. You don't need to go directly, you don't need to access the customizing transaction. You can directly double click here. So material type is the last one here on the screen. By double clicking the material type, you have access to the customizing of this material type and important information that you might want to verify. So that was accessing Material Master from MD04.